For those of you considering cutting your national pension or transferring your home to your children just to qualify for more basic pension, I urge you to stop immediately. Missing today's video could lead to a lifetime of regret. Today, we'll cover two crucial points. First, the basic pension cutoff line for 2026 has significantly increased. For single-person households, it's now 2.47 million South Korean won, KRW, per month, and for couples, it's a generous 3.95 million KRW. So, even if you were denied basic pension last year, please reapply. Second, the basic pension system will undergo a major transformation next year, shifting to a lower-tier generous, upper-tier modest structure. Therefore, please refrain from making hasty decisions about your assets. Start by confirming your income recognition amount. First. Hello, I'm Yeo Woonbong. I've worked in the domestic banking sector and gained practical investment experience at a comprehensive financial firm on Wall Street in New York. For over 2 decades, I've been lecturing on finance and economics at a university. Today, I'm here to clearly and thoroughly explain the significant changes coming to the basic pension system in 2026 and how you can ensure you receive your full entitlement without any reductions. Many people have a misunderstanding about the basic pension. They believe it's automatically granted to everyone over 65. However, that's not the case. Currently, the basic pension is a monthly payment provided by the government to only the lowest 70% of income earners among South Koreans aged 65 and older. As of January 2026, nearly 8 million citizens across the country are receiving this benefit. The current monthly benefit amount, based on 2026 figures, is approximately 349,700 KRW. Over a year, this amounts to a substantial sum exceeding 2 million KRW. So, how do you determine if you fall within the lowest 70%? The government has established clear cutoff lines for this. For single-person households, your monthly income must be 2.47 million KRW or less. For couples, if your combined monthly income is 3.95 million KRW or less, you will automatically be eligible for the basic pension. This represents a significant increase of 190,000 KRW compared to last year's cutoff. This means that many individuals who barely missed out last year, perhaps earning around 2.5 million KRW, now have a much higher chance of qualifying, with the increased thresholds of 2.47 million KRW for singles and 3.95 million KRW for couples. Therefore, do not give up simply because your application was rejected previously. It's important to note a crucial distinction here. When I refer to income, I'm not just talking about your monthly salary. The government converts all your assets, including apartments, land, savings, stocks, and even cryptocurrencies, into an equivalent monthly income. This is professionally referred to as your income recognition amount. Some individuals, despite being retired and having no active income, might own a single home. They may worry if their home's official market value would disqualify them from the basic pension. Rest assured, you can still be eligible. For assets like homes or cash, the government applies an approximate 4% rule for calculation. For example, if you own a home valued at 1 billion KRW, 4% of its value, 40 million KRW, is divided by 12 months, resulting in an estimated monthly income of about 3 million KRW. Since the couple's household cutoff is 3.95 million KRW, simply owning a 1 billion KRW home without other income generally allows couples to pass the basic pension eligibility criteria with no issue. The situation becomes more nuanced if you continue to work part-time after retirement. Many of you might be receiving a small monthly salary as earned income. Even in such cases, there's no need for excessive worry. The government actively encourages seniors to work and provides substantial deductions. First, a fixed amount of 1.16 million KRW is automatically subtracted from your monthly salary. Then, 30% of the remaining amount is further deducted, with only the remaining 70% being counted as income. Through these calculations, it's possible for single-person households to earn up to approximately 4.68 million KRW per month, and couples up to about 7.96 million KRW per month, and still receive the basic pension, provided they have no other significant assets. So, don't prematurely assume you won't qualify. Confidently apply for the basic pension and verify your eligibility. However, a common issue arises. Some recipients expect to receive the full 349,700 KRW monthly but find only around 170,000 KRW or 280,000 KRW deposited into their accounts. Why does this happen? It's due to three main factors that can reduce your basic pension. Understanding these is key. The first obstacle is the reduction linked to the national pension. You might wonder why your basic pension is reduced by the government simply because you're receiving the national pension, which you contributed to yourself. To clarify, the national pension is a return on the contributions you've made throughout your working life. The basic pension, however, is conceptually different. It's a tax-funded welfare payment provided freely by the government to low-income individuals aged 65 and over, based on age and being in the lowest 70% income bracket. Currently, if you receive more than 520,000 KRW per month from the national pension, your basic pension will gradually be reduced, potentially by as much as half, down to about 170,000 KRW. The rationale behind this reduction is that the government views the national pension as also containing a degree of state support, and receiving both in full would constitute an overlap in welfare benefits. Consequently, some seniors, hoping to receive more basic pension, consider applying for early national pension withdrawal to reduce their monthly payments, or even contemplate not contributing to the national pension at all. You must absolutely avoid this. An extra 100,000 KRW in national pension doesn't result in a 100,000 KRW reduction in basic pension. It's typically only a 20,000 to 30,000 KRW reduction. It's like burning down the house to get rid of a pest. It's always more beneficial to consistently contribute to and receive the maximum possible national pension. The second obstacle is the spousal reduction. While a single person receives the full 349,700 KRW, what happens when a couple lives together? If both spouses receive the basic pension, the government assumes that living together reduces living expenses and utility costs. Consequently, each spouse's benefit is reduced by 20%. This means a husband might receive around 280,000 KRW, and his wife about 280,000 KRW, totaling only about 560,000 KRW. This reduction is so impactful that news reports have even mentioned cases of sham divorces to avoid it. However, please don't worry about this particular aspect, as it is scheduled for change soon. I will explain the details of these changes later in the video, so please stay tuned until the end. The third obstacle is the income reversal prevention reduction. The name might sound complex, but I'll simplify it. Let's say, as I mentioned, the cutoff for a single-person household is an income recognition amount of 2.47 million KRW. What if someone's income recognition amount is 2.4 million KRW? Since this is below the 2.47 million KRW threshold, they would be eligible for the basic pension. The problem arises if this individual receives the full 350,000 KRW basic pension, bringing their total income to 2.75 million KRW. Meanwhile, another person whose income recognition amount is exactly the 2.47 million KRW threshold might unfairly be disqualified. This creates an illogical situation where the person with a slightly lower initial income, 2.4 million KRW, ends up with a higher total income once the pension is added. This is precisely what income reversal refers to. To prevent this, the basic pension system handles it as follows. Instead of giving the full 350,000 KRW to the person with 2.4 million KRW income, they only receive 70,000 KRW, ensuring their total income matches the 2.47 million KRW threshold. In other words, simply being below the cutoff doesn't guarantee the full amount, If receiving the full benefit would push their total income above the cutoff, the benefit is reduced by that excess amount. This mechanism prevents the paradox where someone with a slightly lower income, after receiving the pension, appears to be better off than someone who just missed the eligibility cutoff. Now, for the true highlight of today's discussion. The government has recently announced a sweeping overhaul of the basic pension system. Let's delve into the key changes. The first major change involves an increase to 400,000 KRW and a shift to the lower tier generous, upper tier modest structure. The era of the 400,000 KRW basic pension, a pledge made by the President, is finally dawning. However, due to the substantial budget required, this won't be implemented all at once. Starting in 2026, the most financially vulnerable groups, recipients of livelihood benefits and seniors with incomes below 50% of the median income, will see their basic pension jump to 400,000 KRW. From 2027 onwards, this 400,000 KRW benefit is expected to extend to all individuals within the lowest 70% income bracket. There's particularly joyful news for those receiving livelihood benefits. Historically, these most vulnerable individuals received no real benefit from the basic pension because any amount received was simply deducted from their livelihood benefits, a system often described as giving with one hand and taking with the other. However, under this new reform, livelihood benefit recipients will see less reduction in their livelihood benefits even when they receive the basic pension, meaning more money will genuinely appear in their bank accounts. Furthermore, both President Lee Jae-myung and the Ministry of Health and Welfare have consistently emphasized the lower tier generous, upper tier modest principle. This means that benefits will be more substantial for those in the lower income brackets, while those in the higher brackets will receive a more modest amount. In essence, the basic pension won't be a uniform payment for everyone. Instead, the most vulnerable within the lowest 70% will receive considerably more than before, while those within the 70% who are relatively more financially stable may receive a slightly reduced pension amount. This differential payment approach is being seriously considered, and it's what defines the lower tier generous, upper tier modest system. The second change is the easing of the spousal reduction policy. As I mentioned earlier, couples living together currently face a 20% reduction in their basic pension benefits. The government has now acknowledged that this measure is overly harsh for low-income senior couples. Therefore, starting in 2027, for low-income senior couples within the lowest 70% income bracket, the reduction rate will decrease from the current 20% to 15%. This rate will further reduce to 10% by 2030, with a long-term goal of eventually eliminating it entirely. Even a reduction to just 15% would mean an additional 450,000 KRW annually for couples. If the reduction is completely abolished, couples could receive an extra 1.68 million KRW per year. With these improvements making it easier for couples to grow old together, please do not consider extreme measures like sham divorces. The third significant change involves considering the inclusion of family members of occupational pension recipients, such as those from civil servant or military pensions, for basic pension eligibility. Previously, if a husband was a former civil servant, his wife, even with no income, would not receive a single penny of basic pension. This was a source of great frustration for many. The new reform proposal includes provisions to open the door for occupational pension recipients, or their spouses to receive the basic pension if their income level is low. So, with these major changes on the horizon, what should seniors be preparing for right now? There are just 3 key things you need to remember. First, do not hastily transfer your assets to your children. Some individuals, concerned that the upcoming lower tier generous, upper tier modest system might reduce their basic pension due to their assets, might consider immediately transferring their homes to their children's names. Doing so could lead to serious problems. Not only could you face a hefty gift tax, but the government will also continue to count those assets as yours for a certain period after the transfer. As a result, you might lose your basic pension eligibility and incur unnecessary taxes. Since these reforms have not yet passed the National Assembly and are not finalized, Absolutely avoid making any premature moves with your assets. If you are experiencing a cash shortage, a more sensible option might be to explore a reverse mortgage, JUT, which allows you to receive a lifelong pension by using your home as collateral. Second, proactively determine your income recognition amount. As the saying goes, know yourself and know your enemy, and you will never be defeated. You can check your estimated basic pension eligibility by using the My National Pension app on your smartphone or by visiting the BICGIRO website for a simulation. For those who find smartphones challenging, don't worry. You can call the National Pension Service at 1355, and they will provide friendly, free consultation. Knowing your score, or your income recognition amount, is crucial for adapting to the new system when it changes. Third, for seniors born in 1961 who are turning 65 this year, make sure to apply 1 month before your birthday. The basic pension is not automatically deposited into your account just because you're eligible. If you don't apply yourself, you won't receive a single penny. Even if you became eligible last month, applying this month only means you'll receive benefits starting this month. You won't be compensated for the previous month. Remember, retroactive application is not permitted. For 2026, individuals born in 1961 are eligible to apply. You must visit your local community center or a National Pension Service branch with your ID and bank passbook 1 month before the month of your birthday. For example, if your birthday is in March 1961, you can apply starting February 1st of this year. In 2026, with the basic pension, the more you know, the more you see, and the fatter your bank account will become. By adhering to these principles, your basic pension will not be cut. The principles I discussed today are maintaining your national pension, avoiding improper disposal of assets, verifying your income recognition amount, and applying on time. If you follow these 4 guidelines, you'll be well prepared for any changes in the system. If today's video was helpful, please share it widely via KakaoTalk with friends and family who might be concerned about the basic pension. Also, by subscribing and hitting the like button, you'll ensure you receive more valuable financial information in the future. I wish you all a secure and prosperous retirement. Thank you.